Tonight, two friends bought a 2-4 because they were too cheap to buy a keg. Cutting through the woods, they got lost when they came upon the Blood Shack, a place where your drunken conversations are recorded and unnecessarily uploaded to YouTube. Welcome back to the Blood Shack.
When you watch these remakes of movies that, in our opinion, are classics, or at least fucking important horror movies of its time, like we were talking about Last House on the Left, and what was it, I Spit on Your Grave, and they all have this like really huge...
Again, several pee breaks during I Spit on Your Grave.
Yes, plenty of pee breaks, but they have this huge rawness to it, you know. It seemed like the directors were just as dangerous as the villains in the movie.
Because they didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't know what they were doing.
I
remember thinking they should have remade Texas Chainsaw Massacre just because the video quality movie I rented was like really bad and I couldn't see what was going on.
Though part 1 though was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Part 2 was
I liked part 2 because it was like I didn't know it existed. And
was that the beginning?
The beginning. So that's the part that kills me. It's not the remake, it's the sequel to the remake. Like, I don't know where to go with that. Like, mentally, physically, I'm like, it's a remake sequel, it's detached and attached, but it's...
what, the beginning?
Anything. Like a
that 3D one. Is that a 3D movie of the original?
No, it's part 4, but it's going back to the original trilogy. Anyway, whatever, man. It's just confusing. It was terrible. Part 4 3D was terrible. That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. The best part was when I dropped the bottle of wine in the theater and everybody saw it. Actually, it wasn't in the theater. It was right outside the theater, and it was a mall with families, and it fell out of my jacket, and I couldn't clean it up because it was just like, and everyone was already looking at me, and then it's like, oh. And you look crazier if I start scraping it up or something, so I just left a broken bottle of wine in the mall because, like, I'm not gonna suck it off the ground or clean it up. I was like,
yeah, I'm not gonna try to fucking pretend it wasn't me.
It was like it was bird shit coming out of my jacket. I was just like standing there. I'm like,
I'll say I like a bunch of remakes. A Halloween remake is pretty good.
Except for the horse.
I like the movie, but the horse, it's funny, it's supposed to be slow, but you know horses, you know how many times that thing shit and they probably cleaned it up and like, they go like, and it's like angelic. Horse would be doing horse noises in like a shit bag.
But I'm just gonna say my little bit about remake horror movies. I think remakes are okay in this sort. I don't like seeing a remake to Carrie. I think Carrie was fine. Why are you gonna remake it?
They pulled it. Yeah, like they pulled it and they're reshooting. It was supposed to come out last week. And when I went to see Evil Dead, I saw the teaser and I was like, wow, that looks like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But they pulled it because it was just like the reviews of the trailer were so bad that people were like, now it's like a major movie that's delayed. It's not coming out till next year.
Good.
The people have spoken.
There's hope for moviegoers still. Because I always thought moviegoers now were just watch whatever's shown in front of us type of situation. I'm still saying fuck the remakes.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Halloween remakes. I think I'm just a Rob Zombie fan. But the best remakes I find were kind of made before remakes were really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, Cape Fear is a good remake. So is The Fly, The Blob.
The Blob.
The Blob's an awesome
remake.
remake.
The Blob are
The
like
Blob's awesome.
But see, that's it. Like,
yeah. But those are good remakes done by directors. Okay, we're going to show you a real reason why this movie should be remade as opposed to like some sort of stupid cash grab done provided by a stupid studio.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's just make money. So I'm sure there's going to be a Breakfast Club remake.
Yeah.
Just because we don't want one.
Exactly. You know those sequels that come up about 15 years after the originals come up and it wasn't necessary? That's going to be the sequel. It'll be called The Next Monday.
Yeah.
You know, everybody fell in love with each other that one fucking Saturday where they're in detention. Yeah, but the next Monday, what's his name, the nerd kid who was asking Molly Ringwald, like, what are you going to do on Monday? Are you going to talk to me when I say hi to you, or are you going to just snub me? And they'll just make a sequel out of that and shit.
Yeah.
And then it would be called The Next
slip
Monday.
To her, like, date raper.
Yeah. I would think, like, they'd really go off the walls and shit, and, like, he is, like, really, like, a pedophile killer. He, like, wraps her up with cellophane. And, Bender has to come in and save the day, but he knocks him out, and Emilio Estevez comes after him after smoking pot.
Because in the John Hughes movie, smoking pot gives you the energy of 10 men.
And then you break the glass. The shard of glass he's gonna use. Fucking cut Bender's throat. This is how it is at my house. Like, hey, Johnny, just smoke up, Johnny. You stopped smoking a year ago.
My God.
Can you imagine? Who would you have as the fucking characters in the Breakfast Club? Really
Colin Farrell or something like that.
Colin
It's
Farrell.
like
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Megan Fox is Molly Ringwald's character. Jake Baruchel's playing Bender.
Ellen's gonna be the fucking principal or something like that. It's-
Actually, I'd kill to see that
Fuck,
one.
man.
I remember thinking they
For hours, the two discussed remakes of movies that have yet to be remade, unaware that the floor beneath them was about to collapse. Falling through, they landed in what appeared to be a high school library, where they'd spend the rest of eternity in detention with the Brat Pack, who are now old and fat.
Smoke up, Johnny!